Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before we get into the tutorial, I just wanted to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for those of you who have been posting comments on my last video that I posted. Well, not my last video, but Tuesday's video. And that was kind of like an update of what's going on, and I have just received such a tremendous amount of positive energy and love, and you guys don't know exactly how much that means to me, more than you'll ever know, more than I can put into words. So thank you so much for those of you who watch and the comments that you have left. I just thank you so very, very much. Now, on to the look. Today's look is very edgy, very kind of sultry and dark right around the outer portions of the eye and kind of creeping down into the lower lashes. But the main star of the show is this lip color. I ordered this NYX lipstick from Amazon because I was looking for something similar to the NARS Audacious Lipstick in Dominique, which is kind of like a lilac muted purple that has a touch of gray to it. It's sold out, and apparently it's not something that's available at Sephora. I could be wrong, but I didn't want to spend $30-some on a lipstick, especially for a tone like that I've never worn before. So I found this one online through Amazon, got it in, literally ordered it Friday, and I think it was Friday morning, and then Monday afternoon it was already in my mailbox. So I would try to find the seller and link that site below for Amazon. It's incredibly pretty. The color, when you put it on, for me, I feel a little weird because I've never worn anything like this. So this is what the color looks like. This is the NYX Lipstick in Power, and this is it mixed with a little bit of a pinker shade, just to add a little bit more of a wearable tone to it. So that's what I did on my lips, which you will see towards the end of the video. But for this part, I hope that you guys will enjoy the tutorial, and let's just go ahead and get into the look. Okay, so before we apply any eyeshadows, you want to make sure that you have primed if you need to. I already applied a thin layer of my Lorac Behind the Scenes primer, and I also added some eye cream underneath that because my eyelids have been super dry lately. So now for the eyeshadows, I'm going to be using an angled brush. As you can see, this is going to help create that shape. You can use tape, but I keep forgetting to go and buy some. So I'm going to start with the first color, which is the darkest shade. This is Print by MAC, and it is a matte, well, more of like a satin finish, almost matte, dark gray color. And you want to kind of just load up your brush with enough product to really get in there and create that shape. So you can look directly into a mirror and place this right, if you were to draw a line from the lower lashes to the brow, right there. So just place it down. As you can see, that creates that shape. And so what you want to do is kind of wiggle the brush back and forth and kind of start wedging this into the crease. Now you want to keep this right on this outer portion, and you're going to soften it with another shade in a moment, but just kind of focus the color and kind of get that sort of line from here coming into the crease. So this way, so you can hold your brush. If you have tape, it's so much easier with tape. Trust me. But I like to do things the hard way. So this looks crazy, I know. Just bear with me. It's gonna work. And then you can use the same brush. I'm gonna wipe it off really well in a tissue. And I'm gonna soften those edges with this next color from MAC. This is a kind of like a silvery charcoal color. It is called Silver Ring, and it's a beautiful shade. And again, with the same brush, tapping off the excess, you want to apply some of this color right into this little area here and slowly start to kind of pull it towards the center of your crease and soften out those lines. And it's also going to add a little bit of color, but not too much. And just take your time creating the shape and making sure that you don't come in too much as well. Then I'm going to switch to a synthetic crease brush, and I'm going to kind of just start to soften this just a little bit, kind of keeping the brush in that same area but going back and forth. Don't pull the brush up because it's going to bring the color up too close to the brow. And just kind of soften the edges. You can see it starts to look a little bit better. And then I'm taking a pencil brush with the same eyeshadow print, and I'm also going to just pack it on just right on the outer V portion because that's where I want the most of the color. And then I'm going to go back and add again some more of that silver ring. So whichever is the lightest shade that you're working with to blend out the dark color. Hopefully you can see how it's super dark here, but that just kind of helped lighten this area here. Then I'm going to go in for my highlight. I'm going to take a big fluffy brush. This is the Morphe MB23 with the MAC Shadow in Brule, which matches my skin tone, and it is matte as well. I'm going to kind of apply this quickly to my brow area here. And then we're going to work for our inner corner part before we continue with this outer portion here. So I'm going to switch to a Sigma E46 brush, which is super tiny, and my MAC eyeshadow in Ricepaper. It's such a beautiful kind of yellow color. It's a little bit more of like a champagne, but it pulls a little yellow. It's so beautiful, and it looks like nothing in the pan, but it's the perfect inner corner highlight, and it just gives that little pop of color and brightness without it looking too shimmery, because you don't want anything like disco ball looking right in this part here. And then I'm just going to kind of sweep that onto the lid as well with the same tiny little brush. Now to add a little warmth to this look, just the smallest amount that you need, I'm taking the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in Barcelona Beach. I don't know where I would be without this color. As you can see, a little bit of warmth coming through. That's because I'm using this shade and a crease brush, and just literally touch it just barely, and make sure you tap off any of the product and kind of go right around the edges here to add some warmth to that look. And it's just gonna just make it look so pretty. And again, don't pull it up too high, just kind of keep the color right in this area here. And then I'm just taking my fluffy crease brush that I used earlier, and I'm gonna kind of start doing feather strokes and pulling in a little bit of that silver ring, just so that there isn't a blank spot right in the center of my eyelid. And then again, just kind of continuously blending the lines out until it's where you want it to be. And then you can go back in, add a little bit more of that warm tan shade, and just kind of warm up this outer portion here. Next, I'm going to do the lower lashes, and for this I'm going to kind of not bring the color in all the way, just a little bit. I'm taking my MB32 brush by Morphe with my Print Shadow by MAC, and I'm going to apply this right on the outer portion of the eye, and just making sure that it connects with the outer part of my outer V area. And so at this point, this is when you can kind of perfect your shape and kind of add some more intensity. So I'm going to take my pencil brush, which by the way is the Sigma E30, and I'm going to add a little bit more and kind of make sure that it's connected and that I have that exact shape that I want. And trust me when I say tape is your best friend when doing this, I truly mean it. So I'm just having to work a little bit more without the tape. Liner. I'm going to use my NYC liquid liner, and this is actually a really super dark liner, and it's really cheap as well. So I'm going to wipe off some of it so that I don't apply too much, and I'm basically going to go from the color portion of my eye outwards and just kind of feather it in lightly right at the root of my lashes in the inner part, because I don't want the liner to go all the way in. I want to kind of keep some of this area here more open, and so you do that by keeping your liner pretty close to the outer part of the eye. Okay, so now for some mascara, use something that's really volumizing. I'm going to be wearing some false eyelashes, but if you didn't want to, then use something that gives you lots of volume. For me, I absolutely love the Maybelline The Rocket Volume. It's hands down freaking awesome. But before I do the mascara, I'm going to apply some concealer and kind of clean up this shape a little bit using my Rimmel London Wake Me Up Concealer. I got the shade Very Fair Light, and so I'm going to apply some of this right into the under eye with the applicator. Blending out my concealer with this small micro beauty blender. It's so freaking cute. I can't get enough of it. I'm also going to set my under eye area with the Bare Minerals Well Rested. It's going to add some brightness, and I like doing that especially when I'm using such dark looks or dark eyeshadows. And then I'm going to take my Ardel wispies and I'm going to cut these in half to create small like little accent lashes, and then I'll be back to show you the completed look. Okay, so now that the eyes are done, we just have to do some bronzing and contouring because I'm looking super pale. I'm going to take my It Cosmetics, my Sculpted Face palette, and that's just a bunch of contouring colors and a couple highlight shades. So I'm going to take my Morphe MB5, which is like a short handle dual fiber brush. I'm going to go in with this color here, which is just a little bit like a lighter tan shade. And I'm going to contour with this really quickly. This brush is good for contouring because it sort of like buffs the product into the skin without looking harsh and without having those like harsh lines, you know, that you might have with like a smaller brush. Okay, and then for some blush, I don't really own too many like kind of warmer tones, so I'm going to go in with my blush in Exposed. This is from Tarte, the Amazonian clay one, just a little bit to add a rosy glow to my cheeks. And I'm going to use my Precision Face Brush from Bare Minerals and just take a little bit of that and kind of apply that right where we added some of the contour, right above it. Okay, so then to add some highlight, I'm going to take this shimmery light color from this kit that I'm using, and I'm taking the Morphe MB36, which is a stippling brush. And I'm going to highlight the tops of my cheekbone, and I don't know if you guys can see that glow. The lighting is kind of funky today, but you see that glow that it just gives the skin. It's just so beautiful. I'm going to put some down my nose and onto my Cupid's bow. Now for the star of the show, this NYX lipstick in Power. It's a kind of lilac purple. It's kind of a little bit muted. It has a bit of a grayish tinge to it. It looks a little crazy. I'll put some of it on for you. It's super pigmented. Very creamy. Sorry, I can't hardly talk when applying this. But that's the color. It kind of has a little bit of gray. It just looks a little weird. Maybe because I'm not used to using it. So what I'm going to do is mix it with my Essence Natural Beauty lipstick, which looks like this. I'll swatch this one for you. It's just a natural, kind of soft pink color. And what I'll do is I will show you how it looks on the back of my hand. And so I think adding a little bit of pink definitely helps kind of warm up this color a little bit. So there's the swatches. This is the color on its own, just straight up very pigmented, very creamy, and that's what it looks like with a touch of pink added into it. So I think that definite touch of pink really helps make this color wearable. So that is the look. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial and that you will try the look out. If you do, let me know. If you like the look, if you've worn lips like this or lip colors like this, let me know what kind of color combinations you do on the eye to pair with a lip like this. Thank you again so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. It's @GlamourByLexi, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.